Now, from Comcast C2, along with the 315th Airlift Wing, Charleston Air Force Base, it's Troop Talk, your low-country military connection, bringing you front and center with the men and women of the armed services. Here's your host, Captain Wayne Capps.
Hello and welcome to this special historical edition of Troop Talk. I'm Captain Wayne Capps from the 315th Airlift Wing at Charleston Air Force Base. And today, we're going to take a trip back in time, back to the 1940s. I'm here at Spanholt Airfield in the United Kingdom, and this little airstrip half a world away has a distinct Charleston tie. This is where the 315th Troop Carrier Group actually flew out of during World War II. These are our predecessors. They flew missions like the Normandy invasion and Operation Market Garden. So sit back today and let's take a walk down memory lane. Imagine 1944. World War II was raging across Europe. The 315th Troop Carrier Group was assigned to Spanholt Airfield in the heart of the English countryside. Out of this unassuming patch of land, the men and women of the 315th Troop Carrier Group flew some of the most important and remarkable missions, not only of World War II, but of any time since man has achieved flight. From this very spot, C-47s flew courageous and sometimes deadly missions over German-occupied Europe. The aircrew stationed here carried American, British, and Polish paratroopers during the D-Day invasion at Normandy, Operation Market Garden, the Battle at Arnhem, and Operation Varsity, just to name a few. And here's their story. Well, here I am with Lieutenant Colonel retired Dick Ford. Dick, thank you so much for being with us on the show.
Captain Capps, it's a delightful pleasure, particularly under these conditions that we are here today.
Absolutely. Colonel Ford was a C-47 pilot who flew with the 315th Troop Carrier Group, as you can see from the hat. It's great to see that you guys have that same mission that we have now.
You know, the thing that's a pleasure to us is to see what we thought we had established as a tradition. You have carried on to an excellence and do the same job in a far better aircraft and far better trained people than we were in those days. For that, I am grateful that the reputation is being upheld.
Well, thank you so much, and we've got some men and women back home in Charleston that are they'll be extremely happy to see that you guys, the guys who actually paved the road for us to do what we do in Charleston with the C-17s. It's just absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Wayne. That's our pleasure as much as it is yours.
Well, I want to talk to you for a little bit about some of the experiences you had during World War II. You were a C-47 pilot. You flew out of this airfield. What's it feel like to come back and see this event being put on, and you're like one of the rock stars here?
It's overwhelming. It's also humbling. It's also a reminiscent of some beautiful times and some troubled times.
Good. Well, let's talk a little bit about your experience. I want to take a trip back in time for our viewers back home. And you were shot down in your C-47. You participated in Operation Market Garden and a lot of other operations out of this field here. So can you walk us through how you were shot down back then? Just tell us about some of your experiences from this field.
Yeah, I can, Wayne. Actually, Market Garden was a series of airdrops and landings to try to liberate Holland from German control. And we arrived over at Driel with the Polish airborne. The Germans were waiting for us.
Right.
They didn't have any aircraft on us, but they did have a ground fire that was absolutely devastating. In our position, being on the right side of the flights, our paratroopers were slow getting out, so all the other planes were bailing out underneath us, and we could not turn and had to stay up above the formation and be shot at by the whole German Panzer Division.
Wow.
We were targeted for about 3 minutes and took a tremendous beating. Our crew chief and radio operator were both hurt and hit. We had a hailstorm of bullets going through the aircraft and anti-aircraft. We finally got a big burst in the belly of the airplane and lost all full control. We could take, in those days, the control wheel, and move it around without any resistance at all. The pilot, I was flying co-pilot. The pilot says, "Dick, we lost all control." So I grabbed it. I said, "Yeah, I guess we did." And so we thought, well, what can we do now? We're just sitting up here in the cockpit doing nothing. And finally he said, "I'm going to get a little control." So meanwhile, we're all being shot at. And